Right then, bonus video then for subscribers. Although most people who subscribe to this channel might not be interested in this, because obviously they've tuned in for tricycle videos, haven't they?
Yeah.
But another one of our hobbies is old arcade games and visual pinball, isn't it, Matt?
Yes, yeah.
Right. So, you know, we do spend quite a bit of time doing these. So this is my cabinet. I'll just mount it up. There's a switch under here. So this is not a full-size machine. This is, I think it's a 2/3 size. I based it on a Williams widebody and then just shrunk all the dimensions down. It's normally pushed up against wall, but for this video purpose, we've pulled it out of it. So visual pinball, basically, it's what it says. It's all based on computers. But they are really good now. It's not a substitute. It's not trying to. It's not to replace real pinball, because you can't do that. But it's an alternative, and the way that it's done nowadays, the physics are really good, really close. You really feel like you're playing pinball. You know what I mean? So this is the software that I've got. Front end. The front end is just a menu. It's just a fancy menu. Shows you the table, an image of the table. I can press the buttons. I can go through different ones. If I press these top buttons, it goes through them one by one. There's currently 297 tables. I'm going up to 300 max, and then after 300, anything that goes in, something comes out.
Yeah.
And that way the quality will improve over time. There's no point in having older, outdated tables and constantly adding more and more because you just don't play those ones. So, I mean, the tables that are on here range from, I think the earliest is 1950 something that's on this machine, right up to original tables. Original tables are tables that have been created in the system that do not use the original ROM chips from old machines. I can go through the menu letter by letter if I press the bottom ones. This front end is PinballX. It's not the most popular one. What's on yours, Matt? It's Pin-Up Popper.
Pin-Up Popper on mine,
is the most popular one at the moment. But I got used to this, and I like this. It's simple. I'm not bothered about having flashy videos and stuff going on. I like to have a screenshot that I've taken, and then if I just pick any table on here, just have a look at this Wheel of Fortune one. If I press this button to load this, that's a screenshot I took, and then when this loads, this table just comes to life. I just like that. People like different things. When I first built this, I mean, what's the elephant in the room? People are going to be wanting to know, aren't they? How much does it cost?
Yeah.
That's the thing. What much did it cost? When I first got this up and running, I managed to get this done for less than £1,000. But it didn't have what's in it now. This is a 4K monitor playfield. It always had that. 4K monitor playfield. That's 1080p DMD, and that's an old, more square shape. I think it's a 4.3 monitor. That's just 1600 by 1200. That was 30 quid off eBay. And as far as toys are concerned, toys are the extra things. I've got LED lighting around the back, which changes colour. For different things, and as you're going through tables, that changes colour. I've got these RGB flasher units. I've got two little strobes. They just light up white. They're not particularly bright, but that's really bright. You can't have that. You've got to have that in your peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Because if you look at that when that's going, it blinds you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Beacons. These were what were these? These were 11 quid from Tool Station. Right?
Yeah.
But they don't sell these ones anymore, the ones that motorised spin round. But they only did orange as well, so I paid extra money from abroad to get a blue cap and a red cap to fit them, because that's what I wanted. So, all these LED buttons, these have all got LEDs in, they're just single colour, but these ones are RGB. And there's a program that links in, it's a bit complicated to try and explain it, there's a program that links in with the pinball software, and when events happen on the pinball table, it will set send signals to do certain things. It'll do the lighting. It'll also do. It does all the flashes. It controls the strobes. This is a fan. It's not a speaker. That blows air, and when it goes off, it can be quite. It can take people by surprise.
It's really good, yeah.
It's actually what's that? An Atwood 4000. It's not a computer fan. They're not strong enough. That's an Atwood 4000 used on boats, on canals and stuff, innit?
Right.
It's a proper marine thing. So I'll set this going. I'll put coins in. To credit this up, press that and press that for a coin. But this coin machine actually does work, and it will take pennies if I've got any knocking about. I can put pennies in there. There we are. 1 of 3, so it takes 3, and I've only got bloody 2. I'll have to put the other one in with this. There we go. The speakers that are in this, these are normal speakers at the back, and then there's that sub at the bottom to make it sound a bit more meaty. But the sounds coming from the table are done by exciters that are inside the sides of here. They're basically like they're wired up exactly like speakers, but they don't have a cone. They vibrate against the wood, and so when you're playing, you can feel them. You can feel them come through. And also for the flippers, I've actually got, you know, the 12-volt solenoids that put on cars.
Yeah.
I've got one of each on either side, so that when you press the flippers, you can actually feel the solenoid go off.
Yeah.
It feels really quite meaty, doesn't it?
It does. It feels it is.
Some people go the whole hog and they put flippers for solenoids for slingshots, solenoids for bumpers, and they end up having, I think the most you can have is 10 spread out around. I'm quite happy to just have 2 because I don't really have room in here.
Yeah.
Because this is only a 3/4, 2/3 size. I've turned the sound down a bit, haven't I?
Yeah.
You can hear the sound effects. It's running a 6.1 sound system for the table. So as the ball moves around and hits bumpers, the sound is computed to come out where the ball is. So when it's up here, it's coming out from here. When it's over here, it's coming out from over here. These speakers basically play music, and they play the stuff that's on the ROM chips, because the ROM chips on the original Wheel of Fortune table are actually being used on this.
That's right. Yes, I am. I'm right. Is that where Old Yeller was filmed?
I mean, this Wheel of Fortune table is a decent table. It's not one of the best ones though. There's plenty of different tables on this. I'll just it's just something that we got into, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah.
And once you go down this rabbit hole, it just goes mad, doesn't it? Another thing that people might be interested in, which I've not mentioned yet, let's let that ball play.
Yeah.
What is the specification running this? What do you need computer-wise to run this? You don't need anything as strong as what some people make out.
It has to be pretty strong, though.
It has to be pretty strong, but not up to date. This is, as I say, 4K, 1080p, 1600 by 1200, and the graphics card that I'm running is the legendary 1080 Ti. If you want to get a card that's stronger than that, you have to buy, out of the modern cards today, it's got to be a 3060 Ti.
Right.
A 3060 on its own is less powerful than a 1080 Ti. But you can get away with maybe a 1070. Your graphics card is where the money goes. But as far as computer is concerned, this is just running a Ryzen 5 2600X. That's not cutting edge.
No.
Ryzen 5 is still a current AM4 platform, isn't it? It's a current chip. But what are they up to now? Is it Ryzen 5 5600X?
Yeah.
Have they got Ryzen 7s and I don't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Ryzen 7s and 9s. You don't need the very latest and greatest. You can pick up a Ryzen. I've looked on eBay and on CEX. You can pick up a Ryzen 5 2600X for about just over 100 quid.
Yeah.
For processor. It's the graphics card where you've got to put the money.
Yeah.
I've tried to make this look as neat as I could. This lockdown bar here, I made that myself out of wood and used a router to cut this and do this rounded edge. And then I wrapped it in black car vinyl. Originally, I had that wrapped in, you know, that Fablon stuff you get from Hobbycraft?
Yeah.
Crap. Because as you're playing it, you put your hands here, within 2 weeks all this colour were flaking off. But with car vinyl, it's a lot more durable. It's just not done it at all, which is what you want. That's a proper little stern lock bar button raiser. I wanted one of them on there. I wanted to make that right. So you can go as mad as you want. This is a good table. Well, it's usually a lot louder than this, isn't it? I've just turned it down for video. So, like I say, the table just pops to life when it loads. Another thing that I like to do is, you see these black bars up here. Some people don't like this. They hate to see this. But if you try to keep everything, because we're conditioned, aren't we, to have the whole screen full.
Yeah.
And if you try to keep the whole screen full, you end up pulling some stuff out of proportion. That's what I tend to find. Or you end up losing part of this apron. So I like to have all this apron being on show here. And then I've got my own permanent apron here with these little instruction cards. That helps give room for the buttons at the bottom. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. So I'll show in the back a bit, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, I've tried to make this look as... Some people think that this is bought because it looks that nice on the outside. But as soon as you open the doors and look inside, you can tell it's homemade. Have a look in here. These keys operate the cam locks. But the same key operates all of them. They're not all separate keys. So this comes down here. So now you can see inside. You can see how I've just made things fit.
Yeah.
Right, with brackets, bits of wood. These speakers are stood on these bits of... This now is not... it's not... Some joiners will be looking at this going... But it's just a case of making things fit and making things work. And it does. It's a bit like my Lego speed reduction in here, isn't it? I'll show this while I'm at it. This lockdown bar just pulls off here, just clips off here, and it's quite quick release. See these little blocks? You just undo that. That's a separate earth. Just undo that one, and then pull that off there, and that's now detached.
Yeah.
Completely detached. And if I wanted to get to the monitor under here, that little brown strip just lifts out, and then that monitor just comes down. There's nothing to unscrew at all. And then once that glass is out, this comes out, and then you can lift the monitor up and you can get to everything inside. So it doesn't take long. The original plan when I very first designed this cabinet was to have this open up, which it does. I can get to all the USBs at the back and all the sockets at the back. But the original plan was to be able to undo that and pull this. This is on a drawer, things that you could pull the whole thing out. It didn't work out like that because you've got to have everything connected on the motherboard, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah.
You've got to have your fans connected, and I just couldn't make it work. So there's the 1080 Ti. Runs great with that. Brilliant. Like I say, that's where you've got to spend your money on your graphics card. Your processor. So long as you've got at least a quad core that's running over 3 gigahertz, I'd say. But with the price of Ryzen's, you might as well just buy, as far as I'm concerned, just get a Ryzen 2600. Because they're 6 core, aren't they?
Yeah.
6 core, 12 threads. You know, you're not spending a fortune there. But like I say, once you do go down this rabbit hole, if you're interested in it, it becomes all consuming.
Yeah, you get enveloped by it, don't you?
You do. I mean, I've spent ages tweaking all these tables and making sure that everything runs right and nicely. And the important thing you've always got to try to remember: backup. Everything's installed on an M2 drive on this. And then I've got a separate drive that I just simply copy. Every so often I'll just copy the entire pinball directory across from the M2 to the SSD, and it takes about 15 minutes. It takes about 15 minutes to do it, so there's no excuse when people are not backing up and what have you. So there we are, and then that's back on there, and we're back where we were.
Looks like rain.
Turn it up a bit again.
Yeah, turn it up, yeah.
I need a bit of practice. Another thing I do as well when I'm doing these tables, just let that drain there. See, it's fan kicking in.
Danger! Danger!
Another thing I do is these backglass images up here, I like them to be all proper aspect ratio.
The storm is coming!
A lot of people just stick a widescreen monitor in there and just have them all at that resolution, stretching them out. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I spend ages making sure these are right and putting bars at top and bottom. I've got to show my favourite, one of my all-time favourite tables. I love this table.
Show it. Red side as well, haven't shown that.
Oh, the artwork! The artwork is professionally printed by a local company. It's just a generic thing that I downloaded for free off the internet. It cost me about 95 quid. To get this table to how it is now, you're probably looking at just over £2,000, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think just over £2,000. Originally, it was just under 900 quid, but it didn't have that computer, it didn't have that graphics card, it didn't have this monitor, and it didn't have any of these toys. And it didn't have this artwork, it was just plain black originally. But I wanted a two-tone, so it's red on this side with that beacon, and it's blue on this side with that beacon. It's just a little detail that I just thought I'd do. Anyway, back to that favourite table of mine. This is one of my favourite tables. That's a brilliant table.
That's fantastic, is that table?
AC/DC is a fantastic table. I'm sure a bit of it.
Welcome to hell in a box.
I don't have, although I can turn that up full there, I don't have the thing on full in there.
Yeah.
You can make this really loud with this system, but when I'm just playing in here on my own, you know what I mean, there's no need for that. Oh, I had 2 credits in it already. Select which song.
Hit the fire button to fire the cannon.
See the fire button there? I missed that. When this flashes, I've got a choice. I've rigged it up so that on the real machine you use this, but I've rigged it up that button and this button here are linked, so that when you're playing you don't actually have to use that. You can if you want, but you can use that. And where that really shines is in tables like what is it? Racing, what was it?
Getaway.
The getaway, where you're changing gears. If you're changing gears, you're like this, and then you're letting go of that flipper. I set it up so you just change gears with this button. On this table, when that's lit, that means you've collected what they call VIP tickets. The thing with these tables is like any other pinball machine. You've got to get to know and learn the rules. And they can be really complicated, can't they?
Oh, they can, yeah.
You can be really knowing what you've got to do. You're not just whacking a ball about. Some people play pinball, just keep the ball alive, which is fun in itself, really. But if you really like a table and you want to get good scores, you've got to get to know the rules. I like this machine because there's a little mini jukebox at the back in there.
Yeah.
It's just like the real one, really. But some pinball purists will probably turn their nose up at this. But they shouldn't really, because before I got into this, I didn't know nothing about real pinball. And now I know what the tables are.
Yeah.
And I was never interested in going into a pinball expo. But you know what? If there's a gaming event going on, later on this year, there's one at Blackpool, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'll be going around pinball tables this time.
Yeah.
And you never know. I mean, I won't buy a real pinball machine to put in here. I ain't got enough money, and I ain't got enough room. But somebody who gets into this could do that. So it opens a gateway into the real pinball machines, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So pinball owners shouldn't really sneer at this, because it helps bring new blood in. It can help bring new blood into their hobby.
Yeah.
I'll show one of my favourites. Now you can buy pinball tables by these companies at games, and there's another one, isn't there? What's that other one? Oh, you know those little machines that you can buy, Arcade 1UP, they've done.
That's it, yeah.
So there's Arcade 1UP and there's at games that have brought out these miniature pinball tables. They cost, I don't know, is it $600-700?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, the specifications on those machines are nothing compared to this. Nothing. And it's not worth buying one of those machines to rip out and put your own stuff in it.
Yeah.
The one good thing about those, I've seen one of their tables, and the artwork, the legs and everything, and the way it's done is properly professional, commercial standard, which what you would expect.
Yeah.
And that's where they shine, but that's where it ends, because everything that's inside, the monitors, they don't even use computers, they use an Android system.
Yeah.
One of them does, I can't remember which one it is.
Arcade 1UP uses that.
Yeah, and it's just poor. It's
clever for what it does.
The monitors aren't even 1080p, I think they're 720, aren't they?
Yeah.
The resolutions are really poor. Why would you spend, I'd much rather spend all that money on a decent graphics card and then put the rest into building something like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but I can understand that some people are put off by technology, they don't want to get involved in building computers, do they?
Yeah.
So I suppose that's fair enough.
Look out, Mark!
But I'm one of these that I'll get stuck in, you know what I mean? This is brilliant, this table, I love this. Attack from Mars. And I actually do know the rules on this.
This system reports are coming in from all over the world. The Earth is under attack. An attack from
I'll go into a bit more detail actually, I'll just some things that I've forgotten to mention. Just hold that there. This plunger, this is a real arcade plunger. These are real arcade legs. And when you're I'll just let that ball today. This plunger is linked to a little board called the KL25Z, and it has a motion sensor in it. So when the ball's in there, you see the ball there, right? If I go like this with table, look. So I actually can nudge the ball in game. You can adjust that sensitivity to what you want. You can make it so that when you nudge the ball, it goes flying across the table. But I try to nudge it adjust it so that it's kind of realistic. And also, when you go like that to nudge it upwards, it does move a bit, but not much.
Yeah.
You should be able to nudge uphill easy, should you? It's as close as what you could get to real. And the advantage is, you buy a real pinball machine, what do they cost? Well, a brand new one. What latest Godzilla?
Well, about $8,000, that.
Latest Godzilla were about 10 grand.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're buying a brand new later one, or if you buy something like this must be Attack from Mars. Does this go for about 6 or 7?
Something like that for one in really good nick, yeah.
But you could buy a not so well known table for maybe 1,500 quid.
Yeah, but then you only get one table.
Yeah, you've got one table. That's all you've got with this. Well, it's 297 on this one. You can have as many as you want. So on this table, you've got to get those 3 shutters to come down, and then you can attack the mothership in there. And there's 5 different towns, 5 different cities around the world, and I think it starts randomly on each one.
Get every available man.
So at the moment we're in Italy. And then you've got the stereotypical accents coming out of the ROM. So that's Italy stage. And now we move to London, England.
Nothing can defeat us. We gotta save the Statue of Liberty.
Oh no, it's USA. Bloody hell. Can't even read that right.
Pull all the snot out of you, Martian.
Pull all the snot out of you. Very reminiscent of what was that film? With all the puppets.
Oh, Team America.
Team America. Just remember that voice reminds me of that.
We'll fight for our freedom.
I could have nudged that. I don't nudge as often as I should, really. Some people say if you're not nudging, you're not playing. But that's a good one. And I'll show another really good one. This really is my second favourite table. Go this way.
Open sesame.
This is brilliant, isn't it, Matt?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Tales of the
isn't it?
Arabian Nights. It's probably the nicest looking out of all of them. Oh, but it is a close call. It's all down to personal opinion, isn't it?
It's just the colours, they're beautiful.
It
Aren't they?
really is nice. You got to try and do the skill shot on here. You got to wait for the machine to tell you where the snake's hiding. So the snake's in the middle pot. So I've got to try and get in the middle pot. No, too hard.
The tale of the 40 thieves.
I ain't got any plans to do anything else on this. Other than keeping software up to date, there's nothing else I want to do. I mean, there's other toys you can get. Like I've just got normal LED lighting that goes around. It goes around the back of the table. It goes underneath the table as well. So when it's darker in here, you really do see the effect. Like, you can buy what's the addressable LEDs, can't you?
That's what I've got in my machine.
You've got addressable LEDs. You've got to buy a little teensy board or something.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Addressable LEDs is where each one of those LEDs on that strip, you can address that particular one. You can make matrices, can't you?
Yeah.
You can have a matrix at the back, and you can program all sorts of shapes and things to come across. I mean, it does look nice. I'm happy with how this is. To me, if I had something like that, I'm just adding it for flashiness sake, really. And
Yeah.
I'm not bothered about that. And mean, I'm quite happy with the feel of these solenoids. When I press them, it's making a noise. The computer makes a noise for it, but I can also feel the solenoid thumping behind there.
Never get there. Prepare to battle.
That's a lovely one. I really like that. And another one of my favourites. Let's show something a bit older, from the older era. They call the really old tables are called electromechanical, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they don't have computer chips in them. Technically speaking, once they get to digital, any kind of digital display, then they're not electromechanical, are they?
Yeah.
So you can get that crossover period. There's a bit of both.
Domestic disturbance.
I like this table bit. I love this. This is from 1977. It's not a fully electromechanical because it has got a digital display like I mentioned, but the chimes that are in this are reproduced brilliantly. It just feels really old school. And some of these older tables, some of them play a bit slower. That is really difficult on it. It's such a big open outlay that. Oh. Anyway, just thought we'd show that, didn't we, Gaff?
Yeah.
Put that on here. I don't know if any of the subscribers would be interested in anything like that, but I'm going to put it up anyway. We've also got this. This is just a generic main cabinet. If anybody's interested, we'll do videos of the others because I've got other cabinets as well.
Yeah.
That reproductions, aren't they? Miniature
Yeah.
reproductions of arcade machines from years gone by. There's like a Defender. There's a Dragon's Lair, Donkey Kong. What other one? Robotron.
Yeah.
Oh, and Star Wars.
Oh yes,
Forgot about that.
Star Wars.
with a proper yoke on it. Yeah, that's just a generic MAME cabinet. That just plays all the old MAME games. It's called Candy Cabs, right? It says Candy Cabs up here, but it's not. It's not a proper Japanese candy cab. It just happens to be the name of the company that made them. They used to be based in Chesterfield. I think they're up in Scotland now. I'm not sure if they're still going. But I pulled out the panel and made my own panel, and then I stuck in there. That's a proper. It's not an arcade CRT, but it's a 20-inch flat screen CRT. Beautiful picture with scan lines on it.
Yeah.
I know purists go on about 15 kilohertz. You've got to have an arcade monitor. I have done that before, but to be honest, I'm just about playing the games, and I'm not bothered if it's not on an arcade machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
An arcade monitor. Right, Nath, so shall we? We'll wrap that up there. See if anybody's interested in these. We might do some more videos on these if they are.
Yeah.
All right then. See ya.